What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Qasim, and today we are talking about the AirPods Max. Now, you know what? I really think that Apple kind of messed up with these in the sense that the price has become the only focus for this pair of headphones. Matter of fact, if you guys remember when I did the unboxing and first impressions video, I too was standing in line thinking, why am I paying almost 580 some dollars for a pair of headphones? Now, let's go forward 2 months, almost 2 months in with these headphones, setting that price aside and just using them and just enjoying them. I think totally different. Now, in no way am I justifying the price for this product. I think, like I said, Apple really messed up because the focus became the price point and not the actual headphones. But this is the same as when you go to buy a Gucci belt or a Louis Vuitton purse or Louis Vuitton shoes or any designer product, any luxury product. When you go to buy a luxury product, you're going to pay a price for the brand, a price for the materials used, a price for the research and development that went into the product itself. So, this is going to be something that you yourself have to decide whether or not, you are that person that wants to spend $550 on a pair of headphones. Now, for me, I had never loved over-the-ear headphones. Trying so many different pairs, I always hate them simply because they're not comfortable to wear. When I wear the AirPods Max, they have been so comfortable, they don't hurt me around my ears. Because one problem I always have with headphones is that when I wear them over my ears for an extended period of time, they're constantly pressing up against my glasses frame. And that causes me a lot of discomfort. And also this top headband area is also uncomfortable for me. So those two things I've always, resorted to using in the ear headphones. And matter of fact, AirPods Pro, they have been my favorite for a very long time now. But just from the comfort, the materials, the design, everything that went into this product, I have been able to justify that price. So if I take myself from that day one, when I'm standing in line and just thinking that, why am I paying for this? Why am I paying this much money for a pair of headphones? If I fast forward to 2 months later, almost 2 months later, I literally sat there on January 22nd looking at these headphones. And that was the last day I had to return them. I actually first got an extension from Apple. I reached out to them over tech support and I was like, hey, can I get an extension for my return period? I just need a little bit more time with this product. And sure enough, because of COVID and so much, they were willing to give me an extension on the return. So I had until January 22nd to decide whether I would keep this. That alone was a telltale sign for me that I was falling in love with this product, even though coming from somebody who doesn't like over-the-ear headphones and coming from somebody who thought that this is absolutely ridiculous to even spend that much money on a pair of headphones, I fell in love with them and I just couldn't return them. So even after the extended period on January 22nd, I sat there, I'm looking at these and I'm like, man, I have enjoyed these way too much for me to actually return these. I need to find a way to keep these. And this was the impact that this product had on me. And that's why I want to, share with you guys why I think that maybe you should consider a pair of AirPods Max for yourself. These are not for everyone. I know everybody is not going to be willing to spend that amount of money, but when you do spend that $550 on these headphones, you're getting quality materials. You're getting a very, very quality pair of headphones, and I've absolutely loved them. So first, let's start with the actual design of the product itself. A couple things that I noticed that I love about them, and a couple things that I kind of had to get used to. So first and foremost, I love these ear cups. The fact that they're removable, means that with time I'll be able to replace them. And yes, they are $69 for a pair to replace, but still, just knowing that with any kind of headphones, over time, you're going to wear out the ear cups. And having this option to change them out, for some people, they might wear out faster, and for others, it might take longer. Because, for example, in my case, I'm here at the desk and I'm using them for editing purpose. So anytime I'm looking for music, for example, the other day when I had to find music for that intro for the AirPods Max, it took me 4 hours to find a soundtrack. And I had these on and they did the job well. Now, apart from the ear cups and the fact that they're removable, they're really, really comfortable. Like I said, I have not had a pair of over-the-ear headphones that I could keep on my head for that long. I have had these on for 8 hours, 9 hours, just sitting here at this desk, working, and not once do I feel like I need to take these off. Now, I will mention one thing about the weight, that you have to get used to it, because I was very aware of the weight of these when I first put them on. But as I continued using them, it just became normal for me. And now I don't ever feel that these are heavy. I don't ever have any problem with these headphones. It's kind of like if you go from a smaller phone like the Mini and then you switch to something like the Pro Max, what's going to happen is that naturally you're going to get some pain in your wrist or maybe in your fingers because your hands aren't used to holding that weight day in and day out. But as a few days pass, you get used to it. And that's exactly what happened with these. I wore them, and the first days I would notice the weight. I would notice the weight that this is heavier than what I've been used to with over-the-ear headphones. But as time went by, it's just become a secondary thing. Now, another thing about the design, the fact that they made this out of a softer material and then you've got this mesh fabric up top, this not only counters the weight, but this headband is so comfortable when it sits on your head. Like I mentioned before, I've had an issue with headbands just hurting and they're just constantly pressing on your head, and it becomes a problem for me personally. And with this, not once in my time of usage have I ever had a problem with this headband just sitting on my head. I think that the flexibility and this mesh fabric and the use of the material, it just combines for a very comfortable feeling headband. Now, another design aspect is the fact that this is stainless steel and it's adjustable. Now, this takes a lot of effort to adjust. You really have to move it in order for it to adjust. What I like about that though is that when they're on your head, I've had this problem with those clickable headbands that go from one click to another. From gaming headsets to regular headphones, they always tend to adjust. Like if I move around a little bit, sometimes they'll click down one notch and I have to readjust it. With this, there's enough of force required that they're not going to adjust on their own, and they just sit in that position that you've set them to. And the fact that this has this little swivel, this is awesome. It creates a nice seal around your ears for active noise cancellation when you use it. Now, another thing I want to mention is this dial. So when I first got this, I was thinking that why did they put a dial here? This should have been touch, or some other functionality but I really like this dial. Now, in my beginning days of ownership of these, I would go to adjust it because I was trying to find a nice adjustable spot that I could have these rest on my head and not be uncomfortable. So while I was going through those few days, I was constantly adjusting the headset, and in that, when I would sometimes touch over here, I would accidentally touch the volume dial and mess it up. So that is something that I had to get used to. After a few days now, it's just become secondary. I actually like the fact that this is a dial and I can really fine tune the volume to my liking. Then This also controls your going forward and going back, all that for your media controls. But I don't really use this, and I don't really use it for the volume since I'm at this desk majority of the time with these, that I just use the volume keys on the keyboard to adjust the volume. Now, in terms of this button here, this is going to take you between noise cancellation, transparency mode, which are both really awesome and we'll get into in a few minutes. So yeah, from a design aspect, these are great. I love them. They're very comfortable. I love the materials that they're made out of. They're solid. They're a solid pair of headphones. And the only one complaint I do have is whenever I wish that they would be held right here by default. Because whenever you go to take them out of the case, they just want to constantly touch each other. The ear cups just keep hitting each other, and I feel like that's going to scratch it over the course of time. So that's the only annoying thing that I found about this, is that I wish that they would automatically by default hold in this position as opposed to just constantly touching like that. So that's the only annoying thing that I found about the design, but everything else I absolutely love. So now let's move on to sound. And, of course, if you're paying $550 for a pair of headphones, the sound's gotta be amazing. These sound phenomenal. I did a full-on sound test with these in a video, I think a couple weeks ago. I'll link it down below. I'll link it maybe up here for you guys to check out. But in that, I went through different genres. I did a sound test so you guys could hear what I was hearing when I wore these headphones. From TV shows to movies, everything sounds great. I can't even keep these at full volume because they would be too loud. And in terms of distortion, they do a really good job. They do a very, very good job, and I have not noticed any distortion whatsoever while using these. Another thing that's important about the sound is the active noise cancellation, because if these can't cancel noise, then yeah, they're not really worth it. These are awesome in terms of active noise cancellation. So this desk that I sit at and that I record these videos at, we live in an older house. It was built actually the same year that I was born, so 88. And there's a lot of activity in my house on the floor that is right above this level. And so, when I'm focused in and working at this desk, there's a lot of, movement in our house during the daytime and whatnot. And so if anybody's walking, if somebody drops something on the floor, if somebody has to take the dog out, then, there's so much noise that it can be distracting. With these and the active noise cancellation, it's totally silent, like literally totally silent, and I can just go on about doing my work and not be worried. I often get surprised that I'll be so focused and just doing my work here that somebody walks into the room and I don't even realize it, and it freaks me out. Seriously, it does freak me out. So the active noise cancellation on these is absolutely awesome. That is probably one of my favorite things. Likewise, the transparency mode. Transparency mode, it's scary because when you have these headphones on, you're not going to realize that you're even wearing the headphones. That's how good the microphones do of a job picking up the outside noise and funneling it in to your ears. So when you have these in transparency mode, you feel like you're not even wearing headphones. It's really awesome. I really like the transparency mode. And what's funny is that I used to, like, my AirPods Pro were my default headphones for everything. Whether I was working here at the computer, whether I'm listening to music, shows, movies, anything. I loved those AirPods Pro. And now they just don't sound as good. So I've really fallen in love with these headphones. Another feature when it comes to sound is spatial audio, and this one is really hard to describe. It's really an immersive experience, and it's something that I really loved on the AirPods Pro, and I love it on the AirPods Max. It's funny, I keep wanting to call these AirPods Pro Max. AirPods Max. It's so hard to control myself, seriously. Anyway, another feature of these is adaptive EQ. So there are microphones inside of here that are constantly listening to what you're listening to, and they're adjusting the EQ levels so that way you don't get any distortion, any issues, and all of your music, shows, movies, whatever you're listening to sounds crisp and clear. And last but not least, what I love is when I'm working at this desk, I have them on, I'm wearing them for editing, whatever work I'm doing. When I get a phone call or anything, I pick up my phone and they automatically switch over. I love that. This is something that came as a new feature with iOS 14 for the AirPods Pro. And so I loved it with those and I love it here. And the fact that I can easily switch between my Mac, my phone, my iPad, it just makes the experience that much better. Last but not least, how long do these last? Yes, let's talk battery life. Now, this is going to be independent based on your usage, but the way I'm using these is for 4 to 5 hours, sometimes even longer. So if I have a day where I'm here at the desk for a longer period of time and I end up using these for around 8 hours, then I can only do that for 2 days straight before I need to charge these up. Now, if I have lighter days of use, like 4 to 5 hours at this desk, and I'm using these, then I can go a couple of days. Like I've noticed sometimes 3 days and sometimes even 4 if I'm really lucky. But 3 days max, I think, is the most that I can get out of these. And Apple claims a 20-hour battery life, and I've usually gotten close to that. But when you take into account a lot of standby time, and then you take into account the usage time, and then obviously how loud you're listening it to. So I listen to mine at around maybe 50-60% for the volume. I don't really put them up that high, so that if that helps you in how long these might last for you, then there's a stat for you. But honestly, when it comes to battery life, I really think it's independent. So a couple days use, I don't think you're going to have any issues. All right, so now on to the final question. Would I or would I not recommend these? Honestly, just because of the price alone, I have to leave this decision up to you. It's really going to be up to you whether you want a luxury quality pair of headphones. If you're looking for something luxury, if you're looking for quality materials, excellent sound quality, awesome noise cancellation, well, this is it. And if you are looking for compatibility with all your Apple devices, then this is it. You know what I mean? You're not going to go wrong here. But again, I can't personally justify for you whether or not $550 is what you want to spend on a pair of headphones. I ultimately had to keep these because they're that good, man. Like I said, they're that awesome and I really love them. On the flip side, if these were, let's say, $400 or maybe even $350, I would have been like, you need to go out and buy a pair right now because they're that awesome. If they were just a little bit more affordable, I think they would have been a great pair of headphones for everybody. Everybody could have found a way to fit these into their life. But now I think that, it's going to be a little bit more limited, but still, they're sold out. They're sold out everywhere. Like you can't find these anywhere. I looked a day ago and the only pair that I was able to find was one in Target and it was a white one. So that was it. So there's demand for these and people are willing to pay the price for this. And that's how it is, I guess. When you want a premium product, you've got to pay a price for it. And this is definitely that. But again, it's up to you. I don't know. You guys tell me. Tell me in the comments down below. Would you buy these headphones? Because I thought that I would never spend this amount of money on a pair of headphones. But here I am. Trapped. Like I could not return these. Like I literally felt sad about returning these back to Apple. And when I got them, trust me that I had no intent of keeping these headphones. but I found a way to fit them into my life. So, with that said, guys, I really hope that you found this video helpful. I hope my insight can kind of help guide you in the right direction. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below with anything that you'd like to say, and if you're not already, consider subscribing to the channel. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next video.